What up, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok, and we are back for another VIP 18 showcase. You guys know how we do. And here today, we got from Server 107, King Eggplant North, King Eggplant or King, Mr. Eggplant, Mr. North, whatever you want to go by. Thank you so much for coming on. And how are we doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic.
Let's go.
Ready to start the weekend.
Yeah, let's do it. A little kill event after this. I see when you're this strong, guys, you don't even have to bubble. See, there's a, I'll scroll out really quick, but other people are all bubbled. This man doesn't need to bubble. He's got the whack-a-mole ready to go. So, I'm already talking about his base. So I think I'm just going to start with that, right off the get-go. What's the story behind the base? Maybe also tell us a little bit about the name. Kind of like start with that if you don't mind.
Well, the name originally started as FS North, and everyone had no idea what it meant. And honestly, it really meant nothing. It has something to do with like kind of an ID code that I would use at work sometimes. And so I used it to sign up for the game, not knowing if I was going to play or not. But a little fast forward as I started to play more and get stronger and, move my way up. And of course, VP 16 going to 17, started getting closer. I just kind of started thinking I needed to make a change, and I had a great idea for the base skin. And part of it has to do with with a lot of the other servers we've played. So, as you get stronger, and I tend to find, at least in my alliance, we're a bunch of killers, and we absolutely thrive on kill day. So I'd go pretty mad. I'd teleport. I'd missile. I'd spend every speed up in diamond. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to kill. And I would start getting a laundry list of DMs. And I was really surprised how many people were taking it personally. Like I was targeting them. And I'm like, I'm just going after everybody. And the way players reacted, I just thought was insane. People would start getting personal. I remember, and this always sticks in my head, so if I ever see this guy, I hit him, even if wall's off, I'm just going to port him and I'm going to follow him everywhere. He's such an asshole. This guy's Sky with KOV. I remember I hit him once and he started sending me DMs.
What server is Sky from KOV?
Oh, shit. I want to say 106.
Okay, so all right, so very close to you guys in 107.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Like when the game first started, we were playing servers from
only the 32. I get it. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
Yeah, 101 to 1. Yeah, so we fought him a lot, and I hit him one day, and all of a sudden I was getting very harassing messages, even like wishing cancer on me and shit like that. And I'm like, I can't believe people take this seriously. And then a lot of people would just like to message me and call me a dick. And, obviously we all know what emoji references that. I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. You could suck one. And then I'd send them eggplant emojis. So I started using the eggplant emoji so much, even in my own alliance chat, people just started like referring to me kind of like Prince. It wasn't even a name. And they just post an eggplant like to give me a signal. So the eggplant name kind of stuck, and the base skin, obviously, you know where the eggplant came from, and I loved the idea of whack-a-mole because I just like to pounce on people. So I asked them, make me whack-a-mole, but with little golden bases that I could just sit there and smash the hell out of.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's kind of a tribute to all the people who take this game a little too seriously. So.
Yeah, so I love that you're doing a little play on of all the folks that you're kind of in a way trolling them, right?
100%.
I love that. And you obviously don't take the game so serious, but you took it so serious that you're like, you know what? I'm just going to troll everybody.
I mean, for the most part, like I love the crew I'm playing with. I mean, we strategize, we plan, we're on the phone. I mean, a lot of it is for, the players who've been around. So I like to do my part. So I take that seriously, but all the rest of the stuff, I mean, I'm just amazed. I have never been burned by anybody in this game and ever took minutes out of my time to message them a harassing message because they burn my base. I think it's just ridiculous.
No, that's amazing. I love that story. I mean, it goes into a lot of different things I think I'm going to want to touch on. And one of those is like, so your name was, off the get-go, it sounds confusing, right? But how you broke down where you got there and how it is now, it makes so much more sense. I love how this is also coming from an emoji. You know, an eggplant emoji, which yes, is very unanimous for a lot of people what that can mean. So I love that. Server 107. Let's talk a little bit about that. Is it American? Is it Asian? Well, kind of talk to me about the demographic. I don't know that demographic. We're literally 93 servers away from each other, so we rarely. I think we fought each other maybe once or twice, maybe in in something. You know, like I think it was a
Meteorite or something.
Yeah, I think we've seen each other in something. So, but no, talk to me a little bit about 107.
I mean, when I first signed up, I forget, I'm on day 607 or something like that. When I first signed up, I would say 107 seemed primarily American, maybe to the tune of like 90%. I mean, as it sits today, it's definitely diverse. So like LRD used to be probably that high, like 90% American. Right now, I would say it's probably a third. It's probably 40 to 50% American. And I would say the other 50% are Europe or Asia.
Okay, so it's actually split. I didn't know that. That's amazing. So you guys have
after all the seasons and fighting, like tradition, like servers 105, 106 were Korean heavy servers, and we come to find out like a lot of them, and I love this. We're worlds apart, but then some of them just seem to thrive on, I guess, the American assholism we would bring to the game, and we tried to make it fun. And I think between that and the appeal of us just trying to be the biggest murderous group in the game, attracted a lot of them. So a lot of them ended up coming, and they're like brothers from other mothers. It's been great.
I love it. That's cool because a lot of times in these games, it's hard to have essentially a server that is multicultural because a lot of times people don't like hitting translate. I've heard also there's a lot of nuance that is lost in our language, right? So we can 100%. Say stuff so many different ways, and different languages the same way. So very often you'll see a very Korean or a Japanese server or a very American server, or a lot of times now I'm seeing there's a lot of Middle Eastern servers. I'm starting to see a lot of, and that's interesting too. So you're at 107 right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. You just poured it away, didn't you? Where did you?
Oh, I did. I was just going to help. So I can pour it right back. Give me 2 seconds. I thought we were just talking. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just watching you do stuff. That's totally fine.
I'll be right back.
Hey, you got to go kill somebody. I get it. Kill event. Let's go. Just to give the frame of reference for everyone watching. No, I guess my question to you is: you're at 107. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys just started season 5. Is that right?
Well, we're almost there. We're days away. I mean, we just got the icon. I guess at the start of the new week. So next week it rolls right in.
Yeah. So what does season 5 look for you guys in terms of like matchups? Is it looks like a pretty easy matchup for you guys with some folks, or is it going to be really tough?
It's going to be really interesting, and the reason is we've got servers like 96, which I know you're familiar with. They got 3 big boys, VIP 18s, and they're crazy. I mean, honestly, they kind of feel like kind of feels a little bit like my group in the sense of the attitude and the ferocious killing, and I love it. So you've got them, but then you've got servers like, and I've never played them, but server like 150, and you go to their THP, and they just have a wonderful mix. I think the strongest is like 421, but they've got a solid lineup of dudes in the high, mid, and low 300 range. So they seem like super stacked with 17s and 16s. And, I think sometimes a lot of people put too much faith in the 18s. Like, there's only so much we can do. You can absolutely be trampled and overrun by, 4 or 5 strong 17s versus 118. It's not what it used to be. So they're going to be interesting. They're going to definitely be a handful, and I love that because I don't want a boring season.
Nice.
And then you got a server like 105, and they're like one of the OG. We played with them before. We've known them for a long time. They're the activity is sick. It's like everybody on that damn server shows up for anything, and they're organized. We had them today in Brawl, and frankly, we got a little overpowered because they're strategists and they're very smart players, but they are all over active. One might run out of troops. Boom, a sub was coming in just as strong and flying all over the map. So they're a tough bunch. So I got to hand it to them especially for the participation, because I think we've all seen, depending on servers, there's a lot of players who continue, and then there's a lot of players who just kind of fall off, and that's why we all love transfers, to try to kind of tighten some of that up. But they've always just been active.
No, it's you said a couple things that kind of sprouted a couple questions just organically here, which is great, because I was talking to Abria, who you're going to see in Server 96. And he said something and I'm interested to hear if it's the same thing that kind of happening in 107. When the transfers happen for them, a lot of the times they're sadly losing a good amount of folks. Even before transfers, just from, whether it's burnout or people are just leaving the game naturally. And he asked me if we're seeing that a lot. And I was really lucky to say, at least on my server, which, again, we're 90 plus servers away from you guys. We haven't really seen that much, but however, I do know people and again, we have 96 in our transfer. I do know there's some folks that have that problem, but I'm lucky that I'm on a server that doesn't have that just yet. And I use the word yet, you just never know, right? So my question to you is, do you see that a lot? Do you see a lot of burnout happening, even pre-season 5 already, or folks that have, stopped playing or done whatever they've, I don't know what they've done with this server. Maybe, they're not their server, their game. Have they just killed the game, or like what's going on in 107 from a participation standpoint?
It's a big mix of everything. So starting season 5, and a lot of it depends on how the season goes and if you're able to maintain the fun of the game. But I definitely get the burnout. So part of the name, like the King part, was so in after season 3, our leader did end up quitting. He still has an alternate account, and he still hangs out for some of the social aspects. But he's like, I can't put in this time. I've got business, family, and he's got life to live, and I totally get it. And there's always a good majority of people that are like that. But starting season 4, I took the crown, and of course had an amazing team around me. But it was just a lot of work. Like I felt like I didn't leave my house for 2 months, and Saturdays and Sundays would be filled with phone calls and spreadsheets and number crunching on like, different routes to go. Yeah, it was intense, and don't get me wrong, I loved it. But when the season was over, I felt burnt out, not from necessarily playing, but from like having responsibility. I would have been happy just temporarily, even if I was in R3, just to play the game and someone tell us what the strategy is, and I would just do it as opposed to having to plan it. But I'm always the guy. I always want to help out, because we've got a core solid group for a long time. Since the beginning. And so the current president, Slappy, he's always been a solid dude. He just kind of naturally moved into the role, and I was more than happy to transfer it to him. He's got a passion and love, and he's probably a little bit more like Larry from the standpoint. He's a little bit more social, knows a lot more players from across the servers, a lot of connections, a lot of relationships. So it just seemed more like the natural progression. And frankly, I'm kind of glad he took it.
No, I get it. How do you, you just touched on this. How do you balance, like real life in this game? Because you are a VIP 18, whether you like it or not, right? So there is this little bit of responsibility that comes with that strength. Correct me if I'm wrong, but people are going to come to you naturally. How do you balance? Just the stuff that you just brought up. Whether you're doing spreadsheets all the time and you feel like you're not leaving your house. How do you have that balance?
There's supposed to be balance. No, No, listen, sometimes there's absolutely no balance. I mean,
Mm,
work comes first since I run my own business, and so like
mm.
that's got to take precedence. But you know, uh, you talk about season stuff. There would always be something like on a Wednesday at like 10 a.m. It's like one of the worst times. But
Terrible, right?
um,
Terrible.
I'd look. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. So I'd
Yeah.
have to look at my schedule, and I would purposely try to just plan things around it. Some things were unavoidable, but I'm pretty sure like last season I made every event, even if I had to come up with a fake appointment that required me to not be at the store, and I'd have to maybe even sit in my car and do it remotely because I definitely felt a responsibility. You talk about 18s and power, like I had to be there.
Sure.
And I get it. I mean, I can't expect everyone to be there if I'm not. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, obviously with the power, I've got to support and at the end of the day too, everyone knows me. I mean, I'll burn through every speed up in diamond, all the way to the end. I just don't give a shit.
Nice.
But I got to do it. I got to do it for my team. So, and I still do. But yeah, I mean, some of that stuff can be um, very time consuming.
Of course.
But yeah, usually during seasons, there's not a lot of balance. So that's why I don't mind the off season. But then at the same time, off season goes by, and sometimes it feels like it goes by a little too long, and then the game gets a little boring because there's really nothing new. So it's kind of an odd feeling of going from completely stressed to relaxed to then being bored, waiting for stress.
No, that's funny. I, I could see that, because there's a off season also in this game, right? There's the
Yeah,
season and the off season, and I've talked to enough people now that they've told me the off season's meant for that, to be off. You're not.
yeah,
All these events are kind of optional, and they're fun. I mean, something that we just had today. I just played. Not too long ago was Meteorite. There's
yeah.
two different times
Yep.
to do it. It's super fun, but it's also optional. You don't have to do that. And the rewards are okay, so it's not like if you are not going to win that or not participate in that, it's not the end of the world, right?
Well, it's really not. But once again, and this is just me, I still feel obligated to
Sure,
be there.
sure, 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 sure.
But
Yeah,
it's also bragging rights. I mean,
it
like we
is.
like
It
to talk
is.
a lot of shit, respectfully, and you can't do it unless you're top dog. So
Yeah, man. Respectful shit talking is nice. So I get it. You got to flex when you can flex. How did you get into this game just like everyone else? I mean, was it an Instagram ad or, something on YouTube? Like, where'd you see this game?
frankly, I couldn't tell you specifically, but it would follow more line of a story of like an Instagram ad. A lot of my work is done, on the phone on a landline, and
Mm,
whether it's conference calls or dealing with customers. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm holding my cell phone, killing time, just scrolling through stuff. I saw an ad, it just seemed interesting. I'm like, you know what? I've downloaded tons of games, and usually within 5 minutes, I'm like, no, this is not what I thought it was, or it just seems boring or too much work. I deleted it, but I guess I don't know. I downloaded this, started playing it for 15, 20 minutes. It kind of appealed, and I put the phone down. And as the days went on, I was just on it a little bit more every day.
next time, next
Um,
thing you know, you have an eggplant base.
Pretty much.
Right? You're like, yeah, I thought I was just gonna be killing like zombies and multiplying my squads really quickly, and next thing I know, I'm buying Kim for 99 cents, and then
Yeah,
I have a VIP 18 base, so it's hilarious how that kind of goes, right?
it
Um,
does. It does, and it's never like a conscious thought. It just kind of turns into it one day. It's like, holy shit, what happened?
yeah, I love that. If you could point out like the proudest moment you've had so far in this game, is it a personal moment or is it like a collective moment for you and your alliance or even your server? Like, what would you say your proudest moment so far? Because we're 5 seasons in. What would it be?
God, that's a great question because I mean,
You could
um,
have a couple of them.
well, no, I mean, some of my most fun is just like I said. It's hanging out with the same group of guys and going on bloody murder streaks with them. But I mean, it's got to be probably I mean, we won season 4 and we were on a mission.
Mm,
Um, I mean, it's got to probably be the between the gameplay per se and the way the group came together. I mean, we also met some like fantastic servers and allies that helped us along the way, but we always would go in the season and we were always trying to make everyone happy. Because we were never like selfish about anything. We wanted everyone else in like 107 to kind of move up with us to a degree. I mean, we're obviously the stronger players in 107, so like, we do control a little bit more, and because of that, but we never wanted to leave anybody behind. And I think through seasons 1 through 3, a lot of times by us helping too much, it ended up hurting us, and it costed us points, or we didn't get enough city captures for points and to take leads and this and that. So I hate to say, but we did go into season 4 like on a mission, played a little bit more selfishly, like kind of took cities first among everyone else, and we would drop them and then distribute them. But we came in knowing like we can't do what we've normally done. We need to take as many points as we can because we're on a mission to win. So I think the way the team came together, the 2 months, hiding in my basement planning. I mean, it did pay off, and it was great. It was great to have like the group really come together and like really gel on a mission to dominate. So that was probably one of our prouder moments, or at least mine.
No, I love that. I love that. I mean, it sounds like a lot went into it, right?
It was a ton.
A lot of time, effort, like you said, hanging out in the basement. No, but I mean, it was a culmination of all these little things that amounted to a big thing. And I can definitely empathize from the standpoint of, the cities and the distribution, because we had to do the same thing. We were always like trying to help everyone else. And then we were at a point where we were like, dude, if we don't do this, we're not going to get first place. And we had to go to a couple other, the not as strong alliances in our server and say, hey, can we have this, this level city back? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. Like, you guys need to win, and we're just like, oh, okay. So totally empathize for that. That's kind of cool. I like that because you could have gone a lot of different ways. You could have been like, hey, my proudest moment is something individual. For you is way more team oriented. So I actually love that answer.
Yeah. And just to add to it, because this is a big deal for me, and I know a lot, especially a lot of other 18s and things like that. Season 4, I also feel like was the first really clean season. So we talked to all other 7 servers, and we all seem to be on the same page. Like, no shady bullshit, no backdoor deals. We've played in a lot of games where people want to align with you and will lie to your face while they're meanwhile helping somebody else on the other side. And,
Sure.
and it's sick and disgusting. But we had a solid between servers 119, 100, 99. Everyone was kind of on the same page. They're like, we want to have fun, we want to win, but first and foremost, we want to keep things honest and no sneaky bullshit. So it was just refreshing that for the most part, everyone had the same mindset.
No, I mean, sounds like you had a good grouping, right? And not everyone's going to have that, right? So there's still sneaky BS, like you said, happening everywhere and all sorts of other server groupings. So, but you know what, for you guys, the stars align and it worked out pretty well. So that's actually really cool. I love that. How do you approach the game? Are you like a very diplomatic player? Or are you a very aggressive player? Are you talkative with a lot of these folks, or are you just like, I just let my game play? Like my gameplay just show who I am.
It depends. First, I'm definitely aggressive. Like, to me, that's the fun of the game. I mean, it's Last War. I mean, that's the fun. I mean, I'm definitely not a farmer, so whenever I can or find an excuse to cause mayhem, I mean, I'm down.
I mean, that's how you got the eggplant name, right?
It's pretty exactly. Sorry, okay, throw that there. Sorry, I have someone here spilling drinks.
No, you're all good, man.
No. Where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought.
Nah, you're just talking. I asked you if you're aggressive or whatnot, and you said, yeah, I'm definitely someone that likes to, stir it up and cause mayhem.
Yeah, and I do love. I'm probably talking about like time for the game. I mean, one thing I do miss is I used to be, and I still am, but I used to be like an alliance chat more, just for hours, like stirring it up with the group and talking shit, having fun, getting people motivated. And alliance is still a lot of fun. I just sometimes it's kind of my busy season, so I guess I wish I could get in there a little bit more, but I mean, that's a lot of what I enjoy about the game is, day in and day out, chatting with the same people, whether it's in the game or even on the phone, talking about certain things that might have happened, it's definitely why I keep coming back.
I love that. So, I mean, could I even say so far that, you've met some people that you would even say that are real friends in real life from the game?
I unfortunately I've only got to meet screen name was Little Larry. I mean, it's now he passed the account to Hooten. But yeah, I mean, he came down to Florida a couple times. We ended up connecting. Probably one of the most solid dudes, not only from the game, but I've met in life. So
I saw him. He was in your hive for a second, and I was actually going to ask about that. So, I mean, are you guys organically from 107, or did one of you guys transfer in? How did that kind of happen?
Organic. So, I mean, I signed up and I used to play with a real small alliance called RTR. I think right now they might be 10th in power in the alliance. And same thing, like I just started growing. I got into the game. I became the strongest there. And eventually I did get recruited to join LRD, which Larry was already there. Larry was already president. So we've always been on the same server, just, moved to that one alliance. It's the second alliance I've only been in. But yeah, we're all organic. We all started here around the same time.
So it's funny. You're an organic eggplant, dude. Congratulations. That's amazing. That's amazing. I had to make that stupid reference. When it comes to like server drama or politics or any of that jazz, like how do you personally handle that? Are you the one that kind of jumps in and kind of like tries to help iron stuff out, or are you just kind of like, hey guys, kick rocks. We're just going to do X, Y, and Z?
Oh, it kind of depends on the situation. I would be lying if I said my first reaction or want would be to just burn them, to burn them to the point they're just removed from 107. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, we do try to keep it diplomatic because we do realize that it's not about an alliance; it's about everybody, and everyone's got to get on board. So, we do try to put our best foot forward and work out any kind of drama that there is, because we're on the same team regardless of what alliance you're in. At the end of the day, coming to season 5, I mean, we all have to have a game plan and play as one, or it's not going to work. So it's usually our first reaction to things is like, how can we smooth this out, whatever the case is. But of course there's always, I mean, we all know there's drama over, frankly, the stupidest shit, and we just tell them to, I mean, why are you complaining about this? We question it. It's just not even worth our time and effort to think about it.
No, it's always the dumb stuff, right?
It's very dumb. And I remember I used to say, like when I was president season 4, and I'd have to deal with that. I'd get messages from other leaders of other alliances. This guy hit this guy. It was a tile. They went at the same time. Like, who cares? Like, I mean,
it's always the dumbest stuff. I love it.
Well, I felt like I was running a sane asylum. Even though it was wild. And yeah, some of that stuff I'm just like, you guys figure it out. This is not even worth even us talking about.
Well, I asked the question because I see the same stuff happening on my server, right? So I'm wondering if like you guys deal with the same crap, and it sounds like you guys do. So
everyone does.
Yeah, you just don't know. You don't know unless you ask, right? And you guys are, whether you like it or not, you're kind of an OG server. You're there's 1,800 plus servers now in the game, so it's interesting to hear what folks are doing at server 100 or server 107, as you will. Versus like, server 1400, and as I keep on interviewing folks, I kind of want to figure that out, like what's going on in their game, because your universe is different, even from my universe a little bit. And it's vastly different for someone that's in like server 800. So I think that's probably one of the unique things that's going on in the game. I love that part. If you had any, I don't know, and I'm sure because you've earned that name, the eggplant, or what that kind of represents, I'm sure there's kind of some rivalries, if you will, or you've probably created some, or maybe even frenemies or enemies. Is there any out there that you like? Again, a rivalry I think can also be respectful. Someone you like actually alike, and you're like, dude, I wish they maybe were in my alliance or my server. That'd be amazing. Or, obviously there's enemies out there. Is there anyone that you would want to name that you'd be like, yeah, this guy was an enemy, or this guy was a rivalry, I respect him for this reason, or I hate him for that reason?
Oh God, how much time do we have?
Oh man, you want to? Yeah,
no,
you can go as long as you want, buddy.
no, but well, a few, just two that come to mind, like respectful rivalries. But I mean, we love playing with them because they have the same attitude. Like if we go up against them in Capital or whatever the event is, we're all going to kill each other. But it's never personal. We understand it's the game, but we like it because they're challenging, and that's what we enjoy. But like UXW, Doberman, and like 118. 118's got a killer server. It's
okay.
It's. I mean, I think they just got a VP18 last transfer, but they were always that server that was just thick in the right places. Like tons of 17s, tons of 16s.
So Doberman is called URXW.
Or no, it's UXW.
UXW. All right, cool. All right, nice. Shout out to them. Love that.
Yeah, tons of respect. And Nilla and Wolf in 119. It's also a solid group. I think he also just got a VP18 last transfer.
Nice.
But once they're probably more active. They might not be as strong, or at least at the time, as 118, but they were sneaky from the standpoint, very good at strategy. We were allies with them in season 4. They were a huge help. To me, they're always going to be like brothers at this point. If they ever needed me, I'm porting there to burn their enemies with them. I mean, I love those guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But we also do know, because every once in a while we'll get them in verses, we'll get them in this, and I'll message their R5 Nilla. Just, hey, like, what's going on, buddy? Like, we got each other, and I think we just know, like, yeah, it's going to be on. He always tells me he's going to put his running shoes on from me. But he's a smart cookie, man. He will personally like bait you and then have 20 people poured around you and just smash. I mean, they're ruthless and they're very active.
You can. So next question around that, and it might be one of the guys you already mentioned. It might not, but if you could bring over one person to your server, like tomorrow, you can just one can come over. It could be VIP 18. Hell, I don't care. It could be your girlfriend that's on, server 1800 for all I care. You want to bring her over? I mean, whatever. You can bring only one person. Who is it and why?
I don't even know if it's just one, because every time we look at stuff, it's just more about, where are we missing things? I don't know if I can just name one, but I mean, I've got players that I enjoy, I have camaraderie with, and it would be for like very selfish reasons, like there's definitely a list of those, but once again, we talked about like Doberman, we talked about Nilla. Like, these are guys like I've really enjoyed playing the game with. They get it, they're smart, and they have a love for it, and they make it fun. So those would be classic examples. But like I feel like our group, we've got 2 of us that are VP 18s, and we've got some 17s. But I feel like in a perfect world, I'd love to get a few more 17s that are like mid to high 17s. I think it would fill in like a little bit of a gap that we're having. So it would be more about a change of trying to get, I wish they'd open up seats and, make VP 18s like reds and give us some golds that would be more into the realm of where I think we have a little bit of a gap in power. But yeah, I'd love to get a few more of those, but would be.
You sound like Abria. Abria's and I was like, dude, do you think everyone not is saying the same thing? Like, oh, give me another couple VIP 17s on my server, right? Like ultimately everyone wants that. And you alluded to something that there's a rumor out. And I use the word rumor. The red seat. You brought that up, so you've heard it, obviously. And I'm going to do some transfer talk on another video about this. I don't want to do too big of a deep dive, but the problem, I think, though, if you were to get another red seat, say it is a VIP 18 seat, I mean, do you think that everyone would get that offering too in that server grouping?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think if we were, you've got 96 with 3, we have 2. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple others that might have 2, but yeah, if we did, I would assume others would. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even that concerned about getting a red seat. I just want more 17s, because I think a lot of people put too much focus on 18s. They say, oh, they got 2, they got 3, we got to watch out. But I'd rather have
you need depth.
12, 7. I'd rather have 12 17s than 2 or 3 18s at this point, to be honest with you, just because I think you can do a lot more with it.
Yeah, I think the game is built around server depth. Not sure if you saw the server versus server 263 versus 220. That was LB Justin, who is still the strongest player in the game. There's been a lot of questions around that server and whatnot. But if you look at that server, they have great activity, and then they fought 220, who has equal to or if not better activity, but they're slightly weaker. That was just an unbelievable fight, and the cool thing about that is because it's just showing how great the activity of that server is, and I think that's what everyone's kind of striving for. It's great to have these VIP 18s like you alluded to, but at the end of the day, you need people showing up playing the game. Like, you need people getting in the mud and doing all the little things, and if you don't have that, you're just in trouble, But if you have that, if you have these players that are going to play the game, with you, you have a chance in almost every fight. So I think that's what we all kind of want. And so I'm interested to see what the transfers look like, if they're going to change it next go around. So we don't need to get necessarily too much into that. But I was just interested to know a little bit more on that on your end. You talked about forming friendships outside of the server and real life. I think that's really cool. One thing I wanted to hear from you, because it sounds like you're a little bit of a trash talker. Correct me if I'm wrong. How do you go about trash talking? Because I was showing some of the viewers, just your kills. You have 118, 118 million kills here. That's just a lot of kills. I'm sure obviously you get people going back and forth, giving you some crap. How do you deal with that? And what does that trash talk look for you? Are you saying funny words back? Are you doing funny things? Like, what is your trash talking?
God, it really depends on how they give it to me. Like I said, most of the time it's a lot of angry people. They're genuinely angry. So when it comes to trash talk, I could sit there and curse at them and give them the same stuff, but I usually just try to calmly talk to them, which, number one, that pisses them off, immediately. And then I start poking the bear until I see what makes them twitch the most, and then I immediately start drilling in that spot. So,
oh man, do you reply to everybody, or is that just impossible?
God, no. It depends on their message. If it's a long, disturbing one, like the guy put in a lot of effort, I sometimes can't help myself. But then I'll get a message like, "Oh, fuck you, asshole." I'm like, okay, well, yeah, fine, I'm an asshole, and fucking go suck a fucking eggplant at that point. But if someone messages me with like a really dark, deep thought out, I'm intrigued, so I definitely will reply to that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So depends on the message to lure you 100%.
In. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. What advice do you give players that are maybe they stumble upon this and they're server 1800 plus and they're just starting out on the game? You're also in season 5. What general advice would you give folks?
God, it's really tough. I get a lot of messages from higher, newer servers who are constantly asking me, more technical stuff like, "Oh, should I upgrade this here? Or should I upgrade that?
Sure.
where to move things?" And some of them are basics that I remember, but some of them are so technical. I'm like, to be honest with you, that was 300 days ago. I don't remember, and a lot of it depends on your whole makeup and layout with research and who's got what special weapon. So it's hard to give advice a lot in that regard. But more strategy and team play, getting people involved, and instead of just going into events nilly-willy, like, come up with a game plan. Desert, assign people to certain pieces if they need help, share cords, just communicate and play as a team, because it absolutely makes a difference.
Love that. I love that. Communication is key on this game, right? If you're not communicating, you're probably your server's probably not doing too hot. If you could give one piece of advice to a person that wants to leave the game, because that is a problem, especially in older servers. How do you get somebody to continue to play?
At the end of the day, it really just depends on their reasons. You could Some of them are what they are, and you can't. There's nothing to do about it. But
Sure.
I think that's the biggest key is, you've got to. It's got to stay fun.
Yeah. So I'm not going to let you off the hook. I know we answered some of the rivalry questions, but I want to talk about enemies. I know you, man. I know you've had to have those enemies because you have the eggplant. That's just going to happen. And you didn't name any. There has to be a server. You don't necessarily need to say who. If you want to, you can. But I want you to talk about the enemies a little bit. There's got to be some enemies out there that you guys have made. Let's hear about it.
I hate to use that as a plural. It's only one server.
Okay.
And let me preface this. I have a lot of respect from a certain standpoint. They've gotten their server like a well-oiled machine.
Okay.
I think they have one, two, maybe three at this point, 18s, but at least two, and then they're fully stacked in strong to mid-range 17s, and they're solid and they're methodical. So, if you ask them, they would probably say we despise them because of their power and their organization. It's clearly not the truth. So, it's server 123.
Oh, okay. You gave us the number. I was wondering if that was coming.
Oh yeah, I could care less about it. No, I'm more than happy to share that. But I know if you ask them, they're gonna probably say it's bullshit. No, I got a lot of respect in that regard. I mean, that server literally pretty much wins everything. Like it's almost impossible to compete with them. The thing that despises us the most and touches on some of the things we talked about earlier, as far as like playing clean game, is I think their leader Enru runs that server like a Korean sweatshop because everybody is up 24. It's almost like a full fucking time job for these people. They're constantly online. They're constantly on the phone. I don't know who the hell on this planet has this kind of time unless like they're all on payroll and this is a full time job. But I think the thing we find disgusting is that Enru's like he wants to win at any cost, and he doesn't give a shit on how he does it. So I've seen screenshots of him spreading rumors, like especially about me like leaving the server to try to get people to transfer out to come to him. And
wow,
I don't know if I have ever met a player I felt is just such a slimy piece of shit.
Oh my god! All right, breaking news, right?
Yeah.
No,
we don't care for them. I respect what they got going on. I can tell you that for sure. But it's not fun with them. Everything is too methodical and malicious. And I don't know. I remember one time they tried to recruit a girl in our alliance, and we really believed they wanted her to keep their server social because she was always talking, posting the whole 9 yards, and she was a lot of fun. I mean, especially with the chats. And I think they try to lure her away because it's probably like a morgue over there. It doesn't seem fun. If you want to win and you want rewards, it's a great place to be, but it's just sometimes it's a slimy road to the top.
Do you think they do that? What do you think the reasoning behind that is? Like, where do you think it's stemming from? I know you just named, I think, is that the R5 Enru?
He's got a lot to do with it.
Okay.
I honestly think it's just small penis complex.
Jesus. All right.
Well, like why else? Why else would you take a game that's supposed to be fun and treat it like a methodical job? I mean, I don't have time to spread rumors and talk shit and just make all backdoor deals to try to get people to lure to my server. Like, you want to come play? Here's what we're up to. You've clearly played with and against us before. I guess we want a little bit more of a natural, organic atmosphere, and we want it to be fun. I always look at them as a server that just like I'd rather quit than transfer over there because it just seems there's nothing fun about it.
It seems too serious.
Beyond, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Got it. And you said they typically win everything, right?
Oh yeah.
That'd be interesting. It's not if it's going to happen; it's when it's going to happen. Our servers are going to align. Also, you have the strongest player in the game still in 263. They have 3 VIP 18s. they're super tough. So 220, don't sleep on them. And I know there's a number of folks, whether it's it's 123, like you said, is that right with Ouija?
Yeah.
123, and I think there's another one, the higher 100s, that again are just great strategists, win at all costs. So it's going to be fun just from a third party standpoint to see what happens with all of this, right? How it unwinds.
Absolutely.
I think that's why I like some of that, hearing some of that, what's going on. I mean, I didn't know it was so bad to where you were saying like, hey, it makes it negative in the game. That sucks. Like tremendously. But
it does. It
yeah,
totally does.
I could see that, winning at all costs, but like, what are you losing, right? When you play that way. So,
a little piece of your soul.
Yeah, a little piece of the soul. I get it, man. Hey, I'm going to wrap this up here. I just wanted to say thanks a lot for coming on and giving us the opportunity to, learn more about 107 and also you.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's been great.
It's been fun because, again, I think what I'm trying to do is give a little bit of a glimpse of what other VIP 18s are doing on different servers. Also, what people are doing in their, in that time gap of where they're at. Like right now, you're at the start of season 5, right? What problems are happening for you and your server? Is it similar? You just brought up 123 and how difficult they are to play against. Someone's going to hear this and they're going to be in server 400 and something, and they're going to say, hey, we have the same thing going on with these folks, right? So I think that's really the cool part here as well. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you want people to know about either server 107 or about yourself?
God, I mean, I feel like we covered a lot. I still feel like 107's got a lot of life and a lot of juice and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I have had people ask me, are you going to transfer this or that? Some players have quit, some players have moved, whatever the case is, and I'm still having a ton of fun over here. So it's like, why I've really got, I don't have a strong passion or desire to like move. It's my home and it's still fairly active. I think a lot of servers after transfer events, sometimes they come out a little ahead, sometimes a little bit behind, but I always feel like the way they have it set up, everyone always, like, you lose some good ones, you get some good ones, and sometimes you just don't feel like you're making progress. So when you have a game and you've had people who are playing it for so long, at some point it's nutrition, like people are going to quit, people are going to retire from it or for whatever reason. So I definitely think they need to change something up. I wouldn't mind I always like having new blood in here because we've met some of the coolest people who just transferred over and they just feel like they've been here forever. And like, I look forward to that aspect because the people who do come, I mean, they make it spicy. So, I mean, I love playing on 107.
I love that. Because at the end of the day, I think we talked about this. You play the game because it's fun. And the game is fun because of the people you play with. So if you're having fun, if you're enjoying the game, that's what it's all about. And that's hard at that, the grass is not necessarily greener, even if you go to a stronger server. So I think that messaging is beautiful because I think it's going to really hit home for a lot of folks. So I love ending on that. Again, just wanted to say thanks again for giving me the time and also just giving our viewers a little glimpse of the eggplant himself.
I'm glad I could, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. We're out of here. Over and out. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok. If you're still watching, thank you so much. And if you guys want content like this, please go ahead and hit me up. Slap it in my DMs. I want to hear from you guys. Who do you guys want to interview next? And more importantly, if there's questions you guys want me to go ahead and ask these guys, go ahead and hit me up with certain questions. I'll even give you guys shout outs. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we're out of here.